Back in 2012, John Carter was a cool movie, but it got a bad rap because of some not-so-great marketing. Fast forward a decade, and the world is totally ready for a fresh spin on this classic story. Let's face it, not every movie becomes a hit, and some just don't click with audiences. But John Carter takes the cake for being one of Hollywood's biggest box office flops ever.
The Jeddak of Zodenga means to crush helium this very night. And if helium falls, so does Barsoom. We must throw off the yoke of old hatreds.
What makes it sting even more is that the movie itself is pretty darn good. It stays true to Edgar Rice Burroughs' novels, but unfortunately, not many people noticed amidst all the chaos of its theatrical release. It's not like the movie had behind-the-scenes drama or conflicting visions. It just didn't find its crowd, even though it cost a pretty penny to make. Sure, its reputation has gotten better over time, especially among Burroughs fans, but that original version is pretty much a lost cause now. But hey, that doesn't mean we can't give it another shot. Considering the current state of pop culture, we're at a bit of a crossroads with some of our beloved franchises. Imagine a new take on John Carter stepping in to shake things up. Steampunk and similar styles haven't been explored much in the mainstream, and with big hitters like Star Wars and Star Trek dominating the sci-fi scene, there's room for something a bit more retro and fresh. It could be just the thing to breathe new life into the genre and bring some exciting ideas to the table. Edgar Rice Burroughs' initial John Carter adventure, A Princess of Mars, first hit the scene as a serialized tale in All Story magazine from February to July 1912. Picture this. Our hero lands on the Red Planet and discovers a civilization in decline, along with incredible creatures and mind-blowing technology. As he teams up with the Tharks, or Green Martians, and gets mixed up in the affairs of the human-like Red Martians, living in feuding city-states, the narrative weaves together elements of westerns, war stories, and classic science fiction, creating a captivating alternate universe. Now, John Carter isn't your average guy. Thanks to Mars' lighter gravity, he's got super strength and agility, setting the groundwork for the superhero archetype we'd later see in characters like Superman a whole 25 years down the road. These stories left an indelible mark on modern science fiction. Even big names like Carl Sagan, the renowned astronomer, credited Burroughs' books for shaping his childhood imagination. Authors like Ray Bradbury, Frank Herbert, and Arthur C. Clarke found inspiration in the pulpy space opera Burroughs crafted, and the impact didn't stop there. In the 1930s, Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers serials drew on Burroughs' work, influencing a wave of filmmakers. James Cameron, the mastermind behind Avatar, openly acknowledges John Carter's influence on his projects, where an Earthling discovers purpose on a new world. Michael Crichton even paid homage by naming a character after John Carter in his hit medical drama ER. And let's not forget George Lucas, who set out on his Star Wars journey with Burroughs' stories actively shaping his creative landscape. Without Burroughs' pioneering books, 20th century science fiction might not have taken off the way it did. They laid the groundwork for a genre that continues to captivate audiences today. The 2012 adaptation of John Carter, despite Edgar Rice Burroughs' significant influence on science fiction, didn't fare well at all. This $250 million movie had a dismal opening weekend, pulling in just $30 million and ending with a weak $73 million in domestic earnings. Even globally, it barely scraped by to cover its massive budget. Sadly, John Carter got overshadowed by The Avengers, which kicked off the Marvel Cinematic Universe just 2 months later. Despite its compelling plot, strong performances, and genuine love for Burroughs' stories, it failed to connect with audiences, marking a unique misstep in blockbuster history. Surprisingly, it demonstrated that classic science fiction can be successfully presented to modern audiences without altering the time or setting. So, what went wrong? Blame it on the marketing, often dubbed one of the worst in recent Hollywood history. The first trailer set the tone, dreary and disheartening, focusing more on dry landscapes and the budding romance between Carter and Dejah Thoris than the film's action and effects. Oddly enough, it omitted any mention of Andrew Stanton's impressive track record at Pixar, where he directed beloved films like WALL-E and Finding Nemo. The trailer also failed to properly introduce the movie's setting or location. To avoid any association with previous Mars-themed flops like Mission to Mars and Mars Needs Moms, they even dropped the word Mars from the title. And oddly, Burroughs himself, the mastermind behind the original stories, was never highlighted in the film's promotional build-up. The result? A film that deserved better, but got lost in the shuffle due to a marketing misfire. The movie's trailer committed a major blunder by failing to convey the story's significance in pop culture. Instead of emphasizing John Carter's role as one of the foundational works of modern science fiction, it presented him as just another hero in a saturated market, where people more readily associated the name with the TV show ER than with groundbreaking sci-fi. Despite efforts to fix this misstep in subsequent trailers by showcasing more action scenes and swapping out the soundtrack, the PR team missed a crucial element, highlighting Burroughs and his profound influence on the genre. A simple inclusion of clips featuring influential figures like Lucas or Cameron expressing admiration for the stories could have made a world of difference. This could have attracted newcomers intrigued by the origins of modern sci-fi blockbusters. Unfortunately, by the time these changes were implemented, it was likely too late. John Carter was practically lifeless by its premiere, succumbing more to audience apathy than any shortcomings on the part of the filmmakers. The fallout was significant, leading to Disney Studios head Rich Ross resigning in the aftermath of the debacle on April 20, 2012. Meanwhile, the Marvel Cinematic Universe soared to new heights just weeks later, and Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm at the end of 2012 provided them with one of Burroughs' premier descendants to explore, leaving the original John Carter story to gather dust. Despite its rocky start, John Carter has garnered a cult following over the years, with fans appreciating its charm, engaging action, and loyalty to Burroughs' vision. A decade later, there's potential for a fresh take on the story. Richard Newby, writing for The Hollywood Reporter, acknowledged the film's flaws but highlighted its positive aspects, emphasizing the untapped potential for a larger franchise. Director Andrew Stanton initially planned a trilogy, a plan abandoned after the first movie's stumble. While revisiting the 2012 film might be a stretch, the original source material, Burroughs' novels, remains ripe for a full-scale reboot. The rise of streaming services and the demand for new content since 2012 have significantly changed the landscape. CGI technology has advanced, making it more cost-effective to bring John Carter's Mars to life convincingly. With 11 novels in Burroughs' series, there's ample material for multiple seasons or films. Sure, there's the argument that Star Wars dominates the space opera scene, but John Carter's 19th century setting offers a unique alternative. A savvy adaptation could embrace this, leaning into a steampunk aesthetic. A successful revival could not only pave the way for more productions, but also avoid direct competition with major franchises. The triumph of Denis Villeneuve's Dune movies illustrates how literary classics can thrive, even with previous setbacks. John Carter is precisely the kind of property that, with careful planning, could achieve similar success. The 2012 film deserved better, showcasing how a movie's fate can be unrelated to its on-screen content. However, times have changed, offering filmmakers more marketing and distribution options. A rebooted John Carter of Mars could reach the wider audience the original missed, showcasing its seminal place in sci-fi history and paving the way for more original stories. It would also give the 2012 film a more enduring legacy, ensuring that Burroughs' work receives the recognition it deserves from a broader audience. Well, that's it for today. For now, make sure that you like our video. Please share your views in the comment section with us. Subscribe to the channel to get updated, and do not forget to hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you at the next one.